The railway came to Matlock in 1849, with Matlock being a station on a line that ran from the Midlands through Buxton and into Manchester. But Matlock became the terminus of this now branch line when traffic north of the station was ended in 1968 as part of the now infamous Beeching Cuts. Peak Rail, however, still runs a heritage line northbound as far as Roseley, with trains departing from the opposite platform on their running days. Our train today is an EMR 2-car Class 158. East Midlands Railway provides an hourly shuttle service to Derby, with the incoming service reversing at the station. The Derwent Valley line runs between Matlock and Derby and is situated roughly in the centre of England. Our southbound journey today makes 2 quick stops at Matlock Bath and Cromford before running down the Derwent Valley to the charmingly named Whatstandwell, with a final branch line stop at Ambergate before we join the Midland Main Line and call at Belper and Duffield and then into Derby. Just a short journey today of 17 miles or 27.5 kilometres, and it'll take us 35 minutes. Right, now we're aboard, let's have a look at the refurbished Class 158 seating. Well, legroom for a regional local service is pretty good, and the neat drop-down table with the extending laptop stand. There's retractable armrests, and it's kitted out in EMR's, shall we say, striking red moquette. And as you can see from this clip from last week's video, the seats are identical, although look an awful lot nicer, I think, in the GWR grey and green. Still, for what is pretty much a commuter service, this is a pretty nice offering, isn't it? Underneath the seats you'll find a couple of USB power outlets, but there's no 3-pin plug, but I think these days people can live without that. And we depart on time. Even after the cutbacks, Matlock still is a very beautiful little station, and once the further refurbishment is complete, I think it's going to be quite a gem. After a very short 2-minute hop, we pop out at Matlock Bath with its kind of weird looking chalet-style buildings, inspired by the notion that Matlock Bath was England's little Switzerland. It's always lovely to see when a once closed station is reopened. When warm springs were discovered in 1698, a bathhouse was built here, and from that time Matlock Bath has become a tourist destination. These days Matlock Bath has attractions including the Heights of Abraham, Gulliver's Kingdom theme park and the Peak District Lead Mining Museum. Cromford has a claim to being the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, as it is the site of Richard Arkwright's first water-powered spinning wheel from 1771. The footbridge leads to the old southbound platform buildings, which I understand are now a holiday cottage. Beyond the station we cross the Derwent and then we're treated to views right across Cromford Meadows. Of course we'll recross the River Derwent many times between here and Derby. Although there's been a station at the curiously named Whatstandwell since 1849, the original station was sited further north and was replaced by this station in 1894, although little seems to remain apart from this rather glorious footbridge. The curved shape of Ambergate platform is all that remains of a triangular-shaped station at the junction between the Derwent line and the Midland Main Line. I'm loving the row of sunflowers. And once across the Derwent Viaduct, we join the Midland Main Line at the site of the old Ambergate Junction station. And in a completely unexpected development, we recross the River Derwent. And guess what happens next? And Belper is our first calling point on the Midland Main Line proper. Duffield mainline station is a pretty bleak affair these days, but hiding behind the station is the terminus of the Ecclesbourne Valley Railway. In fact, that's why I'm here today, because tomorrow I'm going to be enjoying a day driving diesel trains on this preserved line. And if you like the sound of that, then there's already a video on the channel showing what I got up to. So what did it all cost today? Well, I paid £7.30 or about €8.30 for an off-peak adult return between Matlock and Derby. I think that works out as about a fair price for this journey. But what is good though is the comfort level of these Class 158s on such a short commuter route. Yes, they are a little noisy these days, but the seating and the carriage ambience is a whole lot better than the kind of commuter train delights that are served up in other parts of the network for similar short journeys. And we continue to make good speed now on the Midland Main Line. And we're here in Derby after a very pleasant and uneventful ride from Matlock. The footbridge and station canopies at Derby were renewed in 2009 to replace failing concrete ones. And in an earlier and far more controversial change, the 1840s station buildings were replaced in 1986 with a new concourse and travel centre. And then in a final act of defiance, EMR left this purple thing by the front door. Well, that was a good run. Derby Station is worth spending some time at. I think the refurbishment was very nicely done. I like the Y-frame supports on the new part of the station. And the old 70s-ish station, well, it has a certain charm and it does do what it's supposed to do. And the crests outside the station and then the little bits of architecture in and around the station really do make it an interesting place to visit. Derby has a huge railway history, so it's lovely to see that reflected in the station and the station approaches. And that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this short hop from Matlock to Derby. And if you have, then give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel as I release a trip report every Friday. But in the meantime, from Matlock and Derby, it's goodbye and thanks for watching.